Morning, everyone. Since we will not be meeting for class today, but it's important that you keep working on your assignment, I wanted to go ahead and give you some more information about setting up your website. As I mentioned yesterday, and as it explains on your assignment sheet, you're going to use Google. If you go to Google, just google.com, just like you would to search, you'll notice there's information up here on the right-hand side. If you're not already logged in, it'll prompt you to do that. If you are, you'll see these same little icons. What we want to do is go to the Google Drive. As I mentioned, if you have a Google account already, you can just sign into that. If you don't have a Google account yet, you will need to make a Google account. That's free to do. You can use your Pellissippi email address if you want, and it only takes about 2 minutes to complete. I have an account, so I'm going to go to Drive and just click there. And it takes me to a page that looks like this. This is my Google Drive. Google will save things for me here so that I can pull them up from any device where I have internet or on any device with the app, even if it's offline. Because you're creating something, you want to come over here to the button that says New. The first option that I gave you is a Google Doc. And if you click on it, it will look like this. It looks a lot like a Microsoft Word page, except it's going to show up on the internet instead of on print. The first thing you can do is go ahead and title it. That makes it easy to find. So I could provisionally title mine My Experiences with Women's Prison. You get to name your project whatever you want to, as long as the title is somehow reflective of your work. You can type into here. You can copy and paste in text from Word. So for example, your summary paragraph that you already wrote in class, you can copy and paste directly into here. Google saves everything that you do automatically. You'll notice right here it says all changes saved in Drive, so you don't have to stop and save it separately. As you type, you also have some other options. So you can look at headings, you can look at different font types and sizes, you can look at the use of colors, and you can make things hyperlinks. That means if you want me to go directly to another site as I look at your website, you can make it a link. The other things that you can do, if you go up to Insert, is put in additional information. So if you want to put in an image, you click on that button. You can upload a picture directly from your own computer or from your H drive if you're working from school. If you're on a device with a camera, you can hit take a snapshot. If you want to take one directly from another website, you can put in the URL. Or you can use your albums or Google Drive, or search directly in Google. So if I knew I wanted a picture of Piper in real life, I could type in Piper Kerman and search, and it's brought up pictures. Now I can recognize that some of these are actresses from the show, and we start getting some results that are not as obviously linked. But that first one there I know is the author, Piper. So if I wanted to include it, I could just check on it and hit select. Now it's going to show up on your site the same size that the original file is. If you want to make it smaller, just click on it and move the arrow. Likewise, if you want to make it bigger again, just hover over it and move the arrow. You can also choose if you want the text to move directly around it or if you want it to be separated. That simply. You can also use it to include other things in addition to the images and the links. We don't need equations, but you could put in a drawing. And this will give you a tool where you can actually create your own image. And it will bring you to this drawing function. So for example, I can add lines, you can add shapes, you could put in text as well. You can add color, you could do it on top of another image. So there's all kinds of things that you could do there to insert your own picture. Additionally, you could add in a chart. If I wanted to create a chart, there's an example. Or a table, if we wanted to use a table. So there's a lot of choices there. Now you'll notice that this still kind of looks like a Microsoft Word document. It does not have a flashy website design. It's not hugely complicated. It does not have a background. So if you're really unsure about design or websites, this should be pretty familiar to you. And it stays relatively simple. No matter how much you add, it stays here and people would just scroll down. Now, if you want something that's a little bit more visually appealing, what you're going to do instead is go to New and hit Google Slides. Google Slides is kind of like PowerPoint. Now, if you come to Google Slides, again, you can add a title right there. Again, it automatically saves whatever you do. You can create your own design or pick one of the ones they've provided for you. So let's say that I wanted to use this one with the nice bright orange writing on the front. Where it says click to add title, I would simply click and type in. And there's my first page. When I'm ready for the next slide, I go up to slide and hit new slide. Again, I can add a title, I can add in my text. The nice thing about this is that it lets you divide up your paper into really accessible, visually appealing pieces. So you can put a paragraph per page, for example, or you could have a page just with videos or just with pictures. So here, for example, I could have my summary paragraph since we've worked on that. And I would insert my text right there. If you would like to change the layout, you can do that at any time. So if you decide that you're unhappy with it, you can just click on different ones and it'll show you how it looks. And change it throughout. And again, if there's anything you want to insert, you can put in images, you can put in charts. But on here you can also add videos. And if you know there's a video on YouTube that you want to use, you can upload it directly from YouTube. So if I know that I want a Piper Kerman interview, I can search those and they'll pull them up right here. Now another thing that is interesting that you can do is if you find one and you're not sure what it is, you can actually hit play right there. And it'll let you watch the videos so that you can make sure you're choosing the right one. If that's the one that I want, I'll hit select. And just like with the images, if I want to change the size, I can just use that little arrow on the corner to make it bigger or smaller. And pull it around the page if I want to change its location. So that lets you insert things directly in. Again, here you can change layout, you can change theme, you can change if you wanted to change the background. Maybe I like this, but I want it to be orange. I can change that. And so it gives you a lot of flexibility. And again, you can just hit new slide. And that will let you go through things in a way that is really organized, that's really easy to work with, so that it's divided up into pieces. And it makes it a little bit more accessible. Um, it's a little bit easier to work on if you're just working on a section at a time. So those are your two options for creating your worksite. When you are done at the end, you will share it with me. To do that, there's this blue button up in the corner that says share. Until you tell it to share, it will be private only to you. Once you hit share, you can choose how you want to share. When you give it to me, you're going to choose can comment. I will not change your page, but this will let me give you feedback directly on your website. So you're going to hit can comment, and then you would type in my email address, klwithington@pstcc.edu, and hit send. Before you do that, there's a section that says add a note. Please put in your name so that I know who it belongs to, and you can hit send. That will email me the link to your website. The other thing that you can do is put this into a Microsoft Word document and submit it through Dropbox, just the link, so I can go to your site. But these are the two sites that you should be using. For now, you should be setting up a basic site, thinking about how you want it to look. You need to be working on getting that summary paragraph perfect so that it's ready to go into this final paper. And we'll start working on your response paragraphs later this week. But you can start thinking about what else you have to say about this topic and how you can relate to it. Additionally, remember that you need to go to the tutoring center by the time you turn this in and complete that tutoring center form so that you get help. If you have any questions about any of this technology, please come see me during my office hours. Go to the tutoring center and ask one of the tutors for help, or you can try asking the librarians for help as well. Good luck as you work on your project.